Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy TriniFX here, back with another trading recap. Alright guys, today's Tuesday and let's get into the recap. I actually didn't trade New York session today because I had a couple of things to do. So I actually took a trade in Asia, believe it or not. And that was a banger trade in Asia. We could see Asia just expanding. So we'll get into it. Just starting off on an hourly time frame. Keeping in mind this gray shaded area here, that is the daily CB that formed. We could see yesterday price ran up, never took out Friday's high and began to trade lower. So yesterday, did not tap in to the daily CB, and neither did it take out the high. And remember, that was my intention. I wanted to go long yesterday and got two losses. So price traded lower, and we could see we took out yesterday's low as Asia opened. We traded lower, taking out yesterday's low, and began to trade higher. So, I was editing some videos and doing other things, but I was monitoring price to see, if we would continue lower or if we would have a setup long for today into the daily CB. So we saw price inverse this CB on this candle here. To me, if price wanted to go lower, we should have continued lower off of this CB, as there are no other CBs in this leg of price. Everything else is higher up. So price traded higher in Asia and continued to go higher, forming these BCs here. We'll get into the trade I took in Asia on my personal account, but just letting you know how the day went. We traded lower into this hourly BC, which is also a 4-hour that formed. All right, so it traded up. London more or less consolidated, taking out yesterday's high. However, it could not get up to the daily CB just yet. And we could see midnight open. We had this wick lower and closing back above the 1-hour BC. So bodies not closing in fair value gap tells me it's either weak or strength. And then we were going to the upside. So this indicated strength. No bodies on the hourly time frame close within this fair value gap. So dropping into our 15-minute chart here. Right, so we can see this is Asia, midnight open, traded lower, consolidated. Right before market opened, we did see the 915 candle trade into this CB, and I was monitoring to see, how price would play out. As I said, I was not available to trade today, so I was just looking at how price performed on my phone. So marked off 930, and we could see price wicked up and traded lower into this 4-hour BC. So let's go into the 1-minute time frame to see, if we were trading today, if we could have framed the trade long or short. So market opened, we were already inside of this daily CB. We took out Friday's high on the 915 candle, so you can see market opened, we traded up and then displaced, and we continued to displace, clearing out these lows here. And I was just monitoring price. To be honest, if I was trading today, I would have been neutral, because we were in between a daily CB and a 4-hour BC. So those are two higher time frame PD arrays we were in between. So we would have really had to have a clear draw on liquidity for us to frame a trade today. Price lower. This is my first presented fair value gap, as I marked off. Why is this not my first presented fair value gap? Because market opened here. If we were not in electronic trading hours, this candle wouldn't be here, and so this would have been the first candle out of 3 that form a fair value gap, so I can't count this. So this would have been my first presented fair value gap. Marked it off, dragged it across. We could see price traded down. this would not have been a long, because if it's anything, we were going short, tapping into a daily. In my opinion, this would have been stronger than the 4 hour on the initial opening move. So we traded up, displaced lower, this retracement traded into this 1 minute SIBI and sent price lower below the first presented fair value gap. So if you were going short, that could have been an entry there as price traded in, could not close above the consequent encroachment of the first presented fair value gap. You could have targeted those lows, or where is the low? These lows here, because those were relative equal lows, and price ultimately did come. However, you would have had to sit through all of this. Price traded up, traded lower, all these wicks. It was very wicky this morning. So I'm kind of glad that I did not trade today, because this, if you were not seasoned, this would have chopped you up. Eventually reaching below the relative equal lows, yes. So I probably would not have taken a trade. This would have been the trade I would have taken if I was trading today, just to get back above 930 high. You can see price traded down into the 4 hour. And the only reason why I say I would have taken a trade if I was trading to go long instead of bearish, although price was bearish, it continued to be very wicky. And none of these rallies higher closed above the intermediate term highs. So first presented was holding. However, on this last run higher, we traded into this SIBI, traded lower, trading down into those relative equal lows, trading down into this 4 hour BC, and then we saw price go up. One more time, tried to go lower, and could not break below this low. However, we saw price immediately displace higher, inversing this SIBI here, trading back into the first presented fair value gap. We saw this 1 minute BC hold and send price higher. So if I was trading in the New York session, I would have taken along as price inverse this small SIBI here, having strength from this 1 minute and this 4 hour, also a 1 hour BC. I would have entered there, targeting that high, and I probably would have exited the trade as we traded up into consequent encroachment of this wick. I would have exited the trade. Only reason why, because again, we were in between two higher time frame PD arrays. So this would have been a quick scalp. Ultimately, price did trade higher. So that was a trade that I would have taken if I was trading today. Let me know in the comments if you took a trade in New York session. Let me just show you the trade I took in Asia. So if we go back, we could see, remember, price took out yesterday's low and started to trade higher. So we traded up, inversing this 5 minute SIBI, traded lower, found some support, and began to trade higher. We saw it find some support on this inversion here. It was on this candle when I saw price finding support and trading higher. We traded down after this consolidation. We traded higher. Remember, this 4 hour and 1 hour, all these weren't formed as yet, right? So price was here, and I'm seeing liquidity here, liquidity here, liquidity here, and ultimately my draw was this daily SIBI. So we could have framed along. So as this 5 minute BC was created, once price traded lower into this 5 minute BC, I dropped to my 1 minute chart to see if I could have found a continuation entry long, and I'll show you my execution in a bit. So this was an excellent trade, guys. As price traded below 5 minute BC and was finding support, I took my entry. It came up, traded lower, inversed it. You have to look very closely, guys. We could see price trading higher, into this 1 minute SIBI. Let me mark it off for you, which ultimately turned an inversion fair value gap. So it came up, rallied down, taking the stops there. Remember, this is a higher time frame, 5 minute bullish fair value gap. So what I like to see is a market structure shift. We rally up, so we hit it once, rallied higher, came back down, took the stops, and then we inversed the SIBI that sent price lower. So upon this inversion, I waited two more candles to see price beginning to trade higher, and that's where I took my long. And I put my stop below the candle that formed the 5 minute fair value gap. And guys, to be honest, I fell asleep. And price just ran higher. I woke up a little way after midnight open. We can see midnight open there. And I woke up around here and I just exited the trade, guys. The only reason why I exited the trade, because we could have gotten a deeper Judah swing to go higher if we were bullish. So this was accumulation. The manipulation leg could have been very deep. So I just took my profits there, guys, and this was a excellent trade. This is probably the first time in a long time I've taken a trade in Asia, but price was just smooth. It wasn't back and forth. This was a low resistance liquidity run. And if we go back to the 5 minute chart, we could see price just continued higher after that. We took the liquidity above that high. Eventually, we took the liquidity above this high. And then we took the liquidities and eventually we traded high. I mean, in hindsight, you could say you should have held the trade. However, guys, I took my profits, exited around here, and that netted me 107 points. Let me just go back to it, for over 4% return on the account, guys. So yesterday's losses were recouped in Asia. Who would have thought? 4.3 return on the account, 107 points, guys. So that was a banger trade in Asia. So I knew I wasn't trading in New York this morning. So guys, that's the trade recap for today. Let me just show you my executions. You can see, guys, traded down into the 5 minute bullish fair value gap, intermediate term high on a 1 minute chart. We broke it, inversion fair value gap, and as price was trading higher, I entered, stopped below the candle that formed the 5 minute fair value gap. And as I said, guys, midnight open, we accumulated. Wasn't sure how this manipulation, how deep the leg would go. So I just decided to exit the trade. And that was good for me, guys. After yesterday's 2 losses, this was good. Recouped everything. And yeah, guys, so that's the recap for today. If you found value, consider liking, giving me a subscribe, turn on your notification bells, guys, so you can be notified when I post videos. And let's continue on this journey together. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And yeah, that's it. Talk to you again tomorrow, guys. Stay safe. Bye-bye.